Hi and welcome to the team preview guide for Strømsgodset, and this is a very interesting team to talk about. Again, last year they had a survival battle and needed to win on the last day of the season to keep in the league, and they managed to do that. They changed their manager midway through 2019. Henrik Pedersen is a really interesting coach. He's very talented, great with man management, great with the mental side of the game as well, is Henrik Pedersen. So their big rival is Mjøndalen. Strømsgodset are based in a city called Drammen, and Mjøndalen are very close to them, and there's a big derby match when these two sides meet. So interesting one. Marienlyst Stadion, not the biggest in terms of capacity, although 9,000 is not bad for Norway, but the crowd really do get on top of the players here, so there can be a good atmosphere generated. They've had a good home advantage in recent times, which might be impacted by the behind closed doors thing. I'm predicting them 6th, which is maybe generous, but they're kind of my wild card prediction this year. One of those teams that might overachieve and surprise everyone. So yeah, where is Drammen, you might ask? It is on this west side of to the west of Oslo, on the west of the Oslo fjord, and this sort of vicinity here. Marienlyst Stadion here is an interesting stadium. I really like watching matches there. It's a shame there's not going to be any fans there because the atmosphere is good. So I think Strømsgodset are going to be quite a bit of a surprise this year, and they've got a really good start fixture wise. I've said before, I've colour coded this green for easy, medium difficulty for orange, and then red for hard, and they've not got a single red fixture in the first 6. And look at this, they're facing Start and Ålesund in this section, 2 newly promoted sides. I'm not saying Ålesund's easy, but you know, they still are newly promoted. Sarpsborg might not be anything special. Stabæk are okay. Kristiansund at home and Odd at home. I think there's some very manageable fixtures here for Strømsgodset in the early stages of the campaign. So whether you're looking at points, in defence or attack, the opportunity is definitely there. So it's well worth looking at some of their players to get into your side here and now, straight away from the start of the season. And you know, goalkeeper, if you really want to take a punt on a goalkeeper, you could go for Strømsgodset. Mira at 4.5 million. He's going to be getting starting matches, which is important, obviously. And the defence is probably the weak point of the side. It may well still pick up a few clean sheets, certainly in that section. So you could do worse. If you're after a cheap keeper, Mira could be the one for you there. And in terms of the rest of the defence, Lars Vilsvik at 5 million. If he gets his act together and becomes the Lars Vilsvik of a few years ago, that could be a good price. He doesn't maybe get forward as much as he used to. And Jonathan Parver, left-hand side, maybe, could be worth looking at. Not quite sure who the centre-back pairings are going to be, but Gunnarsson should get a lot of minutes, so 4.5 million for a regular starter at a decent club could look pretty cheap. Really, we've got to talk about the strikers, though, and the attackers. This is where it all happens. And Salverson, at 8.5 million, he's going to probably go straight into my side. He's a big unit, is Salverson. I think he'll score. He really transferred to the club midway through last season and did superbly. Good in the air, decent technically, and he's found a good home in Strømsgodset, and a nice striker to get your teeth into there. Moses Moore was the same price, but he plays on the left wing. Gets chances, but I think more of the opportunities will fall to Salverson. So of the two, I would definitely opt towards Salverson more. And a really interesting new signing is Jānis Ikaunieks, a Latvian player who I think could take the league by storm, sort of as an inside forward on the right wing or left wing, cutting inside. And 6.5 million, well worth getting him in the side from day one. I think he's probably one of my top picks, a really budget price for a midfielder who could get you a lot of decent points. There's not too much else to write home about in terms of the central midfield area. Stengel did well to get so many points last year at 5 million, but I just don't see him maybe scoring as many this time. But the two guys I'd be saying getting your team here for Strømsgodset, Salverson, Ikaunieks, 2 worth considering. Or the goalkeeper might not be the worst cheap option either. So it's a few interesting things there to say about Strømsgodset. They're going to be in this 4-3-3 formation, but I put there, and it's nice and fluid sometimes, but also adaptable from the manager. Good coach, like I say. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to surprise a few people this year, and they've got a good start. They're not facing any of the big boys until midway through the season after these first 6. So it could be a good time to get stuck into Strømsgodset's players. Anyway, that's all we've got time for in this particular video. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, do consider hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, that's it for this one. We'll see you again very soon for another team preview. Goodbye.